Hello students and good day to you all. Welcome back to the Financial Academy. Today is the 5th of February 2018. We're practically at the beginning of this week and we had a very interesting weekend in terms of the cryptocurrency world. Today we're going to sketch a connection between the different markets. We had a large movement on the US stock market as well. Let's try to make some reason out of this entire structure that we received for the past several days. So let's go back to our chart station. And it will start with the Bitcoin specifically. Now, just a bit about the price. We've got several indications regarding the price of the Bitcoin. Each exchange has its own specific rate for the Bitcoin. It all comes down to buying and selling process in that specific exchange platform. So we might have a higher or lower rate on this or that exchange. And this is why we've got several rates for the Bitcoin price. In this case, we're analyzing the Bitcoin according to the Coinbase exchange rate. So going back to the daily chart, just again looking at the structure that we've talked about, we've said that we're expecting to receive a very large downtrend movement. I've been saying that since this territory, and indeed we've received this amazing downtrend movement. Right now we're fluctuating around the 8200 level, and indeed that is a logical territory in terms of our prediction. But let's dive a bit deeper and look at the inner structure in order for us to make additional assessments regarding this price. So first of all, I'm going to place again all the tools that we're using on a regular basis, and we're going to make an assessment on the territory of the corrective pattern and the retracement measurement. So again, let's go back and try to place all the instruments that we did for the past several days. First of all, we'll place the resemblance measurement between the first A wave to the B wave. That is the A wave over here, and this is the B wave over here. So we can see that we've almost reached, and you know what, we already reached the 100 level, meaning that we've completed this corrective pattern structure. But it's not only about completing a structure, an equivalent measurement between the A wave to the C wave, but also getting into this structure and looking at the lower time frame and seeing whether we have a continuance potential or we've completed this entire structure. So that was the first measurement. The second measurement that we're going to use will be the large movement that we've received over here. By placing this Fibonacci scale, I'm receiving territories where I'm expecting the market to bounce on, and you can see that it's indeed reacting to the lines. It's reacting to the measurements. As you can see, we have received a cross over here and a pullback right below the 50 level, and from that point just falling down freely and reaching the lower 72 level. I've talked about the 72 level for the past I think approximately a month, or a bit sooner than that, or a bit earlier than that. I've been mentioning this territory as a good potential for a divergence. And a very beautiful thing is to see that the 72 level over here is connected to the 100% retracement over here. Okay, usually, and that's a very logical thing. I want you to think about that. When we've got a lot of traders that use the same methods and they are basing their analysis, or let's say future reaction to the market according to specific indications, then we've got a self-fulfilling prophecy. We've got an instrument that a lot of traders on a wide scale are using, and because of that, they are placing an order, a future order for this specific rate. And this is exactly what we've received during this weekend. I will talk about that in a larger image when we will dive deeper to a lower time frame, but just generally look at this structure. We can see that indeed the two levels are combined together around the 8,000 level, And indeed the market went a bit lower than that, and right now fluctuating around this level. But let's lower the time frame and see whether we're expecting the market to block at this territory entirely, or we're expecting to receive a bit more downtrend before we will see the expected uptrend movement. So moving forward to the hourly chart, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start to divide this last wave. Okay, and I'm going to see whether we've got a potential to complete this entire structure. Now, what we're seeing over here is a double bottom. Usually that is a very logical pattern that will close the entire downtrend movement. But again, we can say that it's a double bottom only after we've received the uptrend movement over here and not at this specific structure. So let's look at this information. A B wave is a structure of 5 waves of a downtrend or an uptrend movement. Now, according to our analysis, the B wave began at this territory over here. And in terms of the separation, and again, expecting a 5-wave movement, we can say that we've already received a first wave, a second wave, a third wave, a fourth wave, and right now we're forming the 5th downtrend movement that should complete this entire corrective pattern structure. Now, again, we can lower the time frame and analyze this specific structure. And I can already tell you that I assume that what we're seeing over here is, again, a completion of a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. When I'm talking about the structures, I'm already counting the inner structure of each and every level, and therefore I'm making the assessment according to the Elliott wave analysis. So the only thing that we need to analyze is this specific structure, whether we've completed this 5th wave, or we should expect to receive a bit more downtrend before a continuance of an uptrend. Again, our assessment. So again, I'm going to erase this structure. And the only thing that I'm interested in is to understand whether we've received a completion of 5 waves of a downtrend movement in this specific cycle. In this case, I will load the time frame to a 15-minute chart. And we can say that we are very close for a completion on this specific structure. And why is that? We've got, again, the first wave of a downtrend movement, the second uptrend movement that corrects this specific structure. Then we've got a third wave dropping down. Right now we're in the making of the 4th wave, and our assessment is to see a bounce lower, and our assessment is to see a drop lower that will again try to hit the bottom line over here at the 78 level, and will continue higher after that. Now again, this specific structure that you're seeing over here is an ABC pattern, which is again a corrective pattern. We've analyzed this structure so many times during this analysis, but generally our assessment is to see a zigzag over here of an up, down, and up movement, completion of this uptrend movement, and then a fall down toward the 7800 level. And from that position, I will look for a return to the large uptrend movement that we're expecting to receive on the Bitcoin. Now, the thing is that if we will look at a larger image, we can see that the previous, that is the 3rd wave, dropped down below the 7800 level. And usually on a regular scale, our assessment is to see the 5th wave dropping down below the last bottom over here. But just that, because we've got such a plain, simple line of the 72 level combined with 100% of a retracement when it comes down to the B wave equivalent to the A wave structure. So my expectation is to see a bounce around this territory for the next several days, and then we will move forward for a higher level, creating a larger, more frustrating, but still more secure double bottom that will highlight the potential for the uptrend movement. Let's move forward to the Ethereum and see what happened over there. So over here on the Ethereum side, we've said that we're expecting to receive additional downtrend that was over here at this territory, and indeed we've received this completion of a downtrend movement. Now again, the connection between the Bitcoin and the Ethereum is very, very strong. As the Bitcoin is losing strength, the Ethereum is losing strength as well. It's not always correlated, but again, generally the large downtrend movement that we received on the Bitcoin side is definitely reflecting on the entire cryptocurrency market. And I want you to think about that. When it comes down to large capital being lost in a specific market, we're talking about layers of traders. We're talking about simple traders. We're talking about professional traders. We're talking about traders that believe in the crypto market. And we're talking about traders that just thought that going to jump on the wagon and maybe make some profit, additional profit for this specific month or for the next month as well. So this time frame, the downtrend movement is practically cleaning all the unnecessary traders, all the fluctuating traders that aren't really confident in what they're doing. And this is a beautiful step in any growth period of any company or any currency. It's just cleaning all the unconfident traders. And it's a very, very important step, again, in any growth structure of any company. And in this case, indeed, we can see that the Ethereum has fulfilled our expectation. And again, let's place our assessment. We said that our expectation is to see the Ethereum dropping down to complete again an ABC pattern, and we said that our expectation is to receive the bounce toward this level or even dropping down lower to this level. Now again, I'll do the same thing. I will lower the time frame to see the inner structure of this specific movement, but generally we can say that we can see a fulfillment of 5 waves movement already from this daily chart. That is the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4 and the 5. But let's move lower to an hourly chart. And over here we can see a cleaner structure of 5 waves. Again, the 1, the 2, the 3rd, the 4th, and right now we're in the making of the 5th. And I'd like you to see the resemblance between what we're seeing over here and what we saw on the Bitcoin price. Practically the same thing. A 5th wave that is expected to complete the entire downtrend movement structure, and to tell you the truth, it looks amazing in terms of the uptrend potential. Again, lowering the time frame, we will move forward to a 15-minute chart just to see the last wave structure. We've got a very nice downtrend A, a very nice downtrend 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and we're already moving forward to the 5th downtrend movement that should complete its structure around the 750 level. And from that point, I'm expecting the Ethereum to diverse its direction and start climbing up. Now, if you're a trader that express a bit of fear during this period, I can definitely say that you can wait a bit on the side, not getting into the market until we will cross this territory, this trend line. This trend line, once we will cross this trend line, we will have an enormous amount of traders joining the Ethereum price, joining the Ethereum, buying additional Ethereums as they're looking for confirmation that indeed this entire structure has completed its downtrend movement. And this will be a large scale signal for a lot of traders out there to join this uptrend potential. Okay, so again, if you're a risk taker, then you can already join the uptrend movement on the Ethereum, expected uptrend movement on the Ethereum already from the 755 level. But if you've got a bit more patient and you'd like to save your capital at the moment, then I will definitely say that at this territory, crossing this trend line, whether it will be over here at the 900 level or whether it will be over here at the 870 level, then still that is a very, very important trend line that will define a large scale of buyers out there. Now again, let's move forward to the local market. Let's look at the S&P 500. Amazingly, we can see that during this entire period, not like the last several months, while the Bitcoin was losing its strength in the market, the US market gained strength and gained confidence. Right now, we can see the diverse expression. You can see the downtrend movement on the S&P 500 correlated with the downtrend movement on the Bitcoin. Now, I'm not saying that they start to support each other on the negative side, but what I'm saying is that generally the market is expressing weakness right now. Generally, there is a lot of weakness in the local stock market and in the crypto market as well. So we can make an assessment that it's not only because of the Bitcoin price or because of fear on behalf of the Bitcoin, but we've got other areas that affect the negativity side of the Bitcoin. I want you to think about that when we're dealing with traders that trade on different markets, or generally when traders from this market, they see what's going on the other market. It affects the negativity side on the entire market, the financial market. So we can definitely say that there's some support on the US stock market as well. Let's look at the euro in front of the US dollar. So over here, we can still see that the dollar was losing strength during this week in front of the euro, and the euro is continuing its uptrend movement as we were expecting to receive the uptrend movement. And usually we see weakness on behalf of the US dollar while the US stock market is gaining strength. Okay, usually that is the opposite side. And this image is very, very interesting because when both the dollar and the US stock market are losing strength, it's because of an inner effect. It's an effect that comes from the US market specifically, and not because of the relationship between the US market and other markets on the global scale. So in this case, we understand that inner problems in the United States affect negatively on the dollar strength and on the US stock market. But that's for another conversation. Generally, we've talked about the crypto market, we've talked about currencies, and we've talked a bit about the indices market as well. We can definitely say that there's some sort of weakness in the market at the moment, but we can say that our expectation is to see a divergence on the crypto market, and that will definitely affect the entire market as well. I'd like to wish you all the best with your. If you need additional assistance, you can send us an email through our website. That is the financial-academy.com. All the best with your trades. Have a pleasant day, and bye bye.